remember when you had an outfit you really wanted to wear that showed off your personality perfectly or made you feel confident, only to not be able to because of a dress code and the restrictions of it? Dress code is something that almost everyone has experienced in their lifetime, from being in a workplace or their school. Most who experience it say that dress codes are relatively too strict. When I came to Ball State, I was surprised at how little to no dress code there was here. After being at a school with 4 years that had a really stressful and strict dress code, I felt a pressure being taken away at the freedom that I now had to express myself in my clothes. I could be myself without having to worry about that stress. Dress codes have very many pros and cons, but the cons seem to outweigh the pros in this situation. I believe that dress codes limit the creativity and individuality of the students. And according to Josephine Irwin's YouTube video, many dress codes are outdated, but we'll go into that in more detail later on in the speech. Schools sometimes expect you to wear certain colors of clothes, lengths of pants and skirts, and other specific rules that can be sometimes hard to follow with low income or poverty. Dress codes are put in place to teach about workplaces that students will be in later on in the future, but according to Wilder and Key, they state in their article that the workplaces usually don't look for the way you dress, but rather how much your work ethic is. Irwin also states in her video that dress codes are unconstitutional. Dress codes usually don't allow students to dress as they please, which is limiting them from their freedom of expression. Linda Lumpson states in her article that virtually every uniform policy in the country applies to only elementary and or middle school students, because once you move up into high school, the clothes become more limited, especially with today's standards. With the change in times, I personally think dress codes should be updated to fit these standards. Like stated previously, dress codes are outdated. Irwin states that dress codes became popular in the 1920s, and they haven't changed much since then. Dress codes have been around for nearly 100 years, and the same rules still apply in some situations. The only thing that's changed today is the clothing styles and preferences that students like to wear, making it harder for dress code rules to be followed. Clothing has become harder to find, especially school-appropriate clothing. Most dress codes allow no tank tops, no low necklines, and no holes in the pants, and no pants that are shorter than a certain length. Well, with today's clothes, it is very difficult to find clothes that are represented for school appropriateness. The cost of clothes has also increased, allowing it to be more difficult for students in a low-income household. And then for uniforms, there are masculine and feminine options, but females are required to wear the feminine option and boys are required to wear the masculine option. In today's society, some would like to switch that, and the strict dress codes just don't allow for that. The most common thought with the dress code is that it's targeted to females. Low necklines, tank tops, and short pants, like I stated previously, are all okay for guys to wear at some points, but when a female wears this and their outfit consists of some of these options, it breaks dress code immediately, and they're usually sent down to go change. With all the cons, there are some pros to dress codes. They can prevent things such as bullying, and according to Wilder and Key, some schools have required students to wear an exposed belt line. This is because in the recent times there's been an increase of bringing weapons to school. This allows for the security officers at the school or workplace to see the weapons immediately and be able to take care of the situation quickly rather than when it becomes an actual issue. Dress codes do have some redeeming qualities, but I think they can do with an update. especially with the trends that are changing and how people would like to express themselves differently. Plus, the updated dress codes could fit the needs of each student in better ways.